All right, hello, this is Wmpyr. Right now, I am smack middle in the move. Uh, we are out of Texas and in this beautiful Arkansas. Uh, and yeah, exhausted and still lots to do. I mean, we're not even halfway, but yeah, still just wanted to make this video for you guys because this is exciting, very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff about the defense bag. So hopefully, if you've been watching my channel, I've got you at the very least thinking about carrying a defense bag and trying to. Uh, hopefully, you guys are figuring things out with your ideal defense bag and putting in some practice on how to use it for survival purposes. And obviously, when I mean survival, I'm not talking about wilderness survival. I'm talking about street survival. So, um, for self-defense, when someone starts attacking you with a weapon, you're going to be using the defense bag to protect and get away. But this is the part where a lot of people they want to use it for attack, and I'm just telling you guys, look, I mean, what the percentage of you actually getting attacked physically, physical assault happening to you, is probably pretty rare, and think about the percentage, like. Think of how many close calls you had last year and how many actually happened. Just think about that. Think of in a numbers game, and it should be pretty rare that you're in an actual physical assault in your lifetime. Hopefully, it's rare, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen. And if it does occur, for you to just protect yourself and get the hell out should cover most instances. But where you actually need to use something and attack the other person, that should be like triple rare, okay? You cannot ignore the percentage, is what I've been telling you guys, okay? So I'm not a big fan of using the defense bag like an actual flail offensively. I've told you guys about the poison cloud, which is a defensive. It's more of a psychological thing. So think lion tamer, the guy that's using a whip and a chair, and he's controlling the lions. If he fought the lions, there's no way that he's going to win. And it's not just one lion. A lot of times he has multiple lions. So that's amazing. That is an amazing feat that the trainer is doing right there, okay? When you think of it combat-wise, he's making sure it doesn't go to combat, because if it does, he doesn't stand a chance. So that's what I'm teaching you guys, to give you guys a chance. And I've already told you guys, make your defense bag look scary. Like, it doesn't look scary when you're just carrying it. But if you decide to use it to protect yourself, then they go, oh, those, anime characters and keychains and stuff that made it look cute. Now the other person sees it as those things hurt. So once again, we're going back to the lion tamer thing, okay? Even if they can't see it clearly, they're going to hear the jingle from that stuff. So it's a psychological defense method. But at the same time, I just got a comment the other day, and this is really my last point, and this is a new and exciting thing that I like to share with you guys, a revelation, so to speak. This guy talked to me about he watched an older video of mine where I was talking about using a baseball cap for self-defense, because at the time I wasn't thinking or telling people, baseball cap is the best self-defense weapon. No, that's not what I was thinking. I was just exercising my Filipino martial arts um, background, where we use improvised weapons, and a baseball cap was just another improvised weapon. And I was talking about how to do that. This guy was talking about putting in some weights in there, something to make it a little heavier, and basically turn it into a blackjack, or should I say slapjack. You guys, if you haven't seen those things, check it out. More and more people are starting to appreciate that and go towards that direction, although I believe it might be illegal in a lot of places. But a lot of people are, thinking. Critical thinking is good. It's really, really good, despite a lot of the misinformation that's out there on YouTube and social media. People are critically thinking, and they're going, in a self-defense situation, do I really need to pull out a knife and cut somebody and bleed them to death, or have something like a blackjack where I could potentially knock them out and just put them to sleep and run away, or put them to sleep, tie them up, and call the cops? It makes a pretty good argument to use something like that. But like I said, unfortunately, our laws are kind of not necessarily the most logical, and it is one of the illegal tools in a lot of places. But I want you guys to think of it this way. This is the new revelation, right? When you look at your defense bag, I don't care if it's an Indiana Jones style bag or if it's a belt bag, right? Those are kind of the things that I've recommended. For ladies, you're going to have like a purse, that kind of thing. This could even be a crossbody bag, a smaller backpack, a smaller laptop bag. All right. That, depending on what you put inside it, but if you put in some weight inside it, and this could be, a thin, small steel can. Okay, it could be something like that. Or it could even be a solid book, a small solid book in there. Okay. And as long as the weight doesn't take up the entire space, because then it becomes like one thing. But, and I told you guys, you don't want it flexible, right? You don't want the bag flexible. So put in something solid in there. Well, it is possible to put something solid in there, but at the same time, shift the weight to where it's on one side. And now we're basically talking about a giant blackjack in your hands. So if you need to, absolutely need to, and once again, I'm thinking the situation where this happens is quite rare. But if you need to attack for some reason, now you have something that can knock a person unconscious if needed to. If need be. Of course, you have to test this out in practice, and not test this out on a person, but test it out on an actual target that you can hit, and you can see how much force it generates. You need to do that, but just knowing that you have that capability if necessary, it can be very comforting, and it can give you the confidence that you might need to help you avoid these kinds of situations. So that is a very good thing. So I'm not saying, make your defense bag into a giant blackjack and go, into situations trying to use it that way. No, it's quite the opposite. Have that capability and use that confidence to not get into these kinds of situations. Okay? So that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.